Hey everybody, welcome to Cut, Transform, Glow. So the science truck is finished and ready to go visiting some settlements. Its full build video goes up real soon, but the topic of this week's video is actually the diorama base. I kinda ran out of wood and the biggest shape I could make was clearly too small for the job, so the first thing I had to do was to find an alternative. I had this thick acrylic sheet laying around, so I grabbed my router and hoped for the best. Yeah, cutting it was tricky, time-consuming, and a very messy process, but as you can see, it is pretty thick and durable, and the size fits my project perfectly. I gave it a light sanding to increase the surface area when gluing it to the wood base, but as I knew CA glue wasn't going to be enough, I precisely marked the surface to include some screws, just to be safe. I threw a ton of old CA glue at it, and then I went for the screws. Everything went well and I was very happy with the size of it because I had enough real estate to put a crazy idea I had for this diorama. I began by choosing some pieces that I keep on these big boxes. I went for some flat pieces with some great details on it. And here's my idea. I want to create a diorama that is half mechanic or industrial and half wasteland. Like if the science truck is just getting to a big base or a big settlement. As always, I like to mark the surface to be precise and keep the different pieces as aligned as possible and not break the illusion of scale. Then I remove some unwanted features from the shapes to make sure they laid as flat as possible on the top of the acrylic. I then trimmed the excess of plastic with my jigsaw, but as you can see by the smoke, it was a bit too fast for the plastic. Some extra pieces of styrene here and there to cover some gaps. And some 3D printed shapes that I keep around that are great for some detailing. The settlement side was nearly finished and I really loved the industrial look I was able to achieve with the pieces I chose. The next challenge would be the Wasteland side. To make it, I decided to go with epoxy putty, which is super messy and kinda toxic, but at the same time durable and cheap. Also, I already did something similar on the SAPO Project, so I felt confident I could achieve a good Wasteland look with it. Now, attaching epoxy on the top of acrylic is not easy. It doesn't want to stick to it, but alcohol can kind of help with that process. Alcohol also kinda dissolves the putty, so it helps to achieve that dirt texture. Just keep in mind that this is a super messy process and you'll get your hands very dirty. When I was happy with the volumes I made with epoxy, I grabbed this light curing putty and applied it to the surface using a brush to create an extra layer of texture on the thing. The result was amazing. And even though I knew I wasn't done with the base, I threw a good coat of primer to see how things were going. It clearly needed some extra detail, so this is what I did next. I grabbed the tiniest bits and pieces in my collection and added to the settlement side. And for the Wasteland, I reached to my collection of real rocks that I grabbed outside. And these were attached with just a drop of sea glue. Last thing before calling this one ready to be painted is to take care of that gap, since the wood portion is much smaller than the acrylic. The fastest way to solve that? Some 3D printed extensions. Then came the final coat of primer, and with that the base was ready for the painting process. I began by applying a darker warm gray to the settlement side. Then I masked the middle portion and applied a lighter shade to the sides. A quick and dirty arrow was masked and painted. And for the Wasteland side, I went with a brush to achieve a more organic look. An orange base color with different shades of brown on top, a couple of washes, and the base quickly came together. A full build video of this project is coming real soon, and it is going to be packed with content. Like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.